In this video, we're going to take a look at some circle questions that involve touching the x-axis and the y-axis, or given lines. So the key thing you have to remember about all of these is that whether or not they ask you for a sketch of what's happening, the sketch is actually key to figuring this all out. So it's very, very important that you do draw a sketch for these types of questions, whether they ask for it or not. So they're telling us that the x-axis and the line y is equal to 8 are both tangents to the circle. So I'm just going to draw a circle. I'm going to draw the x-axis. And then the line y equals to 8. That is a flat line that goes straight across at 8. Okay, so we'll have, there's our x-axis along the bottom here. There's our line y equals to 8. This is our y-axis. Now, I'm just going to adjust this sketch a little bit so we can really see what it means if the x and the y equals 8 lines are tangents. Then it says the center of the circle lies on that line. So we have another line passing through. If I was to get that in the y equals mx plus c form for myself, I'd add 3y to both sides, and then I'd get 2x is equal to 3y. Then I would divide both sides by 3, and I would have 2 over 3x. Then that y equals to 2 over 3x. It's going to pass through 0, 0 because its y-intercept is 0, and it'll have a slope of 2 over 3. So something along those lines is what we're looking at for where the centre is. So the centre will ultimately lie along there. Now, the first thing that it asks us to do is it says to write down the length of the radius. Now, what I can see when I'm looking at this is that if this is 0, the line y equals to 0, right? 0 on the y-axis. This is the line y is equal to 8. If I wanted to find the radius of that circle, given this information, well, I would know, for starters, that there is a distance of 8. And that, by definition here, is the diameter. So what I know right now is that the diameter is equal to 8. What does that mean? How can I find the radius from that? Well, if the diameter is 8, then the radius is equal to the diameter halved. So I'm going to have 8 divided by 2, which gives us 4. So we've got 4 is our radius. It then says find the coordinates of the center of the circle. So to find the coordinates of the center of the circle, I will need to have two pieces of information, because I've got to find two pieces of information. I need two things. So I'll need the x and y coordinate. You could call it hk if you want. You can call it minus g minus f if you want. Right now, let me just call it xy. And what I'm going to know, what I actually do know straight away, is if the radius now is 4, well then straight away, don't I actually know what that y coordinate is? Because the y coordinate describes how far up from the x-axis you've come. So if that is the line y is equal to, or sorry, that's the distance up there is equal to 4, then the y is equal to 4. So I know straight away that my y coordinate for that is equal to 4, because the y describes how far up from the x-axis you've come. That for us was 4, so we get y is equal to 4. Now, I have one part of the coordinates, and I need to think about how do they connect? How is the x related to the y? Is there any sort of connection between the two of them? And yes, there is. Because it lies on the line 2x minus 3y is equal to 0, that's actually telling me if I know the y coordinate, I can find the x coordinate, and vice versa. That actually tells me if it's on that line, that those two coordinates are connected through this equation. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 over 3x is equal to y. I know y is equal to 4 now, so I can fill in 4 is equal to 2 over 3x. Now it's a little equation. We can solve that. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 and I get 2x is equal to 12. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 and I'll get x is equal to 6. Now I have my centre. It's 6, 4. So x is equal to 6. I also have my radius. If I have a centre and I have a radius, then I can very easily, for part 4, find out the equation of the circle. So remember, you're going to start by writing out your equation, and then you're going to fill it in with the information that you have. What's our information? We have r is equal to 4, and we have our HK, which is our centre. We found that to be 6, 4. So formula, information, fill it in. X minus 6 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 4 squared. You don't have to square it all out, just tidy up what you can, and I would leave it like this. They don't ask for it in any particular form. I would just have equal to 16 on that side. So always, circle questions will either boil down to reading the equation of the circle, extracting out the information, and then using that information to find, say, a distance or an equation of a line. Or maybe you are asked to find the equation of a circle and you're being given clues as to what the two pieces of information you need are. For all circles, you need to find a radius and you need to find a center point. How they hide that information changes question to question. It's up to you to draw a sketch and think about, what do I know about this from the sketch? What can I say? And you need to have a really good understanding of the rest of coordinate geometry before you can really start digging into this. Because as you'll see, all of that there, the only real part about the circle that was new was this part down here. Everything else is relying on key skills and understanding from junior cycle.